'Twas the nights before Christmas. Despite last-minute stress, few were delivering except Walmart Express.
Stockings were hung by the fire with care, knowing in about an hour stuffers would soon be there.
On to the road, Walmart Express delivery went. Shot full of wondrous things in the St. Nick of time sent. Let's go!
Get express delivery in as fast as an hour, even on Christmas Eve. Orders must be placed by 4 p.m. local time on 12/24. Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Express delivery to y'all and to all a good night. Welcome to your Walmart.
Hello guys, I'm João Freitas from AOIDOS, Portugal, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
70,000 tons of metal. The original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, 1 cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets. From Miami, Florida to Ocho Rios, Jamaica. January 30th to February 3rd, 2025. 5 days and 4 nights mingling side by side with your favorite artists in this incredible fan-friendly scenario that has no comparison. Go to 70,000tons.com and book your ticket now.
So how do you pronounce the band name so I don't butcher it?
Okay, AOIDOS.
I would have never gotten anywhere close to that. That's funny.
It's an inside joke almost because we actually take joy from watching people try to pronounce it. We've been called AOIDOS, 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 AOIDOS at some point because our first logo was a little less legible like mine is now, our is now, and the first O looked like a D, so people thought we were, oh, you're in a partnership with Adidas. No, we're not.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, album came out what, like 3 days ago, 4 days ago?
No, the album is coming out at the end of the month, but the single is coming this week. It was the first single.
What's been the response to that so far?
Well, it's been good. You know, it has been the most received, like in reviews and all that we had so far. So it has had the most press that we had up until now, and it's quite different from the other song that we had released before, Black Swan. I guess it was the other song was really groovy and much more death metal than this one. This one is a lot more black metal and fast, I guess. And it was cool because actually I thought that it wasn't a great, song for live shows, because when we played, people usually stood around like looking at us. The black metal enjoyer face.
Oh yeah.
But when you're on stage, you think that guy is not enjoying it. But actually, a lot of people, since it's out, oh, thank God you released this one because it's my favorite when you play live. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Right.
So
there's a lot of those guys everywhere, and I might even be one of them, to be honest. Sometimes I'm thinking, but it's not that I don't like the show. It's just a way of watching it, right? I'm old now.
No, that's awesome, and I think it has more to do with my confidence and me being new, playing live than anything else. I'm like always. I think it on the first shows it was more intense than now, and it will fade with time. I was always looking for like, are people enjoying it? Are people leaving? On our first gig, we had a crystal ball like on front of us, and light was shining, and me with the hair in front, I saw the light moving like this because the crystal ball was, those particles rotating, and it seemed to me like in a split second that it was people leaving, and I had like almost an anxiety. It's oh my God, it's the first show. Then I looked up. I took the area. No, it wasn't people. It was just the light. The people were enjoying it. So
funny too. That's a good story. So now what I wanted to get into is because we talk a lot about mental health on this show, and I was reading through your bio, and not that I necessarily pick it up in the lyrics because I haven't listened to it enough, but very, very open, honest, and vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Why was that
I
important
think
to address?
Yeah, for instance, it's something that everyone deals at some point, even if some people are too, stubborn or not open enough to talk about it. Most of the times, it's something new, especially here in Portugal. Portuguese people tend to be, we are stronger than anything. Nothing can drag us down. So I'll just hide this under the rug, and one day I'll deal with it. That's the way most people react to things. So I struggle with it, but not as much as my girlfriend. My girlfriend is like a big part of her life is anxiety and trauma and all that. And I came into her life in a period of extreme trauma because she survived. I met her, and like a few months later, she survived the worst fire here in Portugal in the last years. Uh, that's why there's a song called Fire in our album, that it's basically a recount of her experience, like running through the fire, escaping her burning car and all that. So yeah, basically once I started writing, and this record has been being written since the inception of the band, since 2019, 2020. So I realized that everything had a connection, and I thought, okay, I'm always writing about this because it was such a big presence, and with COVID and all that, it was a complete, like, universal anxiety. People suddenly stopped everything and were stuck at home living what they had inside them. They couldn't sweep it under the rug anymore. So all that environment, I guess, transformed into a record that really transpires in every song, even if we have the wheels that as it recounts a tale of meeting a biblical angel. It's like almost not word for word, but an encounter from the Bible where I don't remember the guy's name. He meets the Ophanim, the angels that are rings with a lot of ice, that are the wheels of the carriage of God. So it's like, but it's basically about dealing with stuff that it's beyond your comprehension. So mental health, depression, anxiety, that's at some point it's too overwhelming for you to even think that you can survive it or overcome it. So everything comes together under that theme.
Do you ever feel like you put too much of yourself in there?
I guess it's funny because I thought that I was writing about her and a reaction, what her living conditions are, and what her struggles. And at the end, I realized that it's a lot about me as well. That's funny. But at the same time, it's a lot about, even if I wrote the lyrics, it's about our bandmates as well. Because, for example, in Oizys, the title track, I take the goddess Oizys, the goddess of anxiety, and I turn her relationship with the people suffering from anxiety, and turn it into a toxic relationship. And our bass player at the time was coming out of a toxic relationship, so he didn't interpret it. He interpreted it more literally. So I guess that's the meaning of art, I guess. And when you do it with the personal meaning, it can be personal to you, but it also will be personal to other people in ways that you didn't even imagine it.
Is it cathartic as well? Does it really?
Yeah. I feel that I write the best when I'm, struggling with something. Sometimes I'm too happy. I can write anything like brutal anymore. No, of course not. But
Right.
I guess that the inspiration comes from a lot of places. But when I am like more overwhelmed with a feeling or an emotion, I tend to go to the guitar and to writing, and things appear in my mind. So it's definitely cathartic in all ways. I listen, and most of us listen to it, and it's cathartic in that way. So I guess it's at the center of it.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
I know the record is out, and you said the end of the month here. You guys plan to take this out on the road?
Yeah. We're playing a release show on the 30th of November here in Portugal near Coimbra, Figueira da Foz. And baby steps. We're planning on taking it to Spain and all of Portugal, then Spain, and then progress after that. The dream is coming over where you are, of course, and around the globe. But once we made it, well, who knows? Maybe we'll.
The Portuguese battle scene, like.
So sorry.
I know Moonspell, but I don't know many other Portuguese bands.
Did you hear about Gaeria as well? Gae.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're Portuguese as well. They're
the guys with the masks.
Yeah. They're like our greatest exports, those two. But actually, we have loads and loads of bands. That's actually interesting because we have a lot of bands, but a lot of diversity as well. For example, I found out, and shame on me, because most of my Portuguese fellow metalheads will probably banish me, but I only found out about a specific band here, Sinistro, that joins doom metal and fado. Don't know if you've ever heard about it. Fado. It's a typical music from Portugal. It's usually
like
acoustic. Now, but the thing is, it's not as folky because only the vocals. Usually, it's like a guy or a girl singing, really like sorrowful melodies. So it fits perfectly in doom.
Yeah.
And basically, I just found about it, and I'm crazy about it, and it's really, really good. And we have a cool scene, and like right now, the biggest problem that people say, oh, there's too much happening. How can we decide? Is that's a good thing, I guess. Like such a small country, but we have really good active bands, and a lot of them. And that, for example, that band that I was recounting, it's usually more known outside of Portugal than even in Portugal. Never mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It says sometimes you have like a guy that he has a band, and people around in this town it's like a garage band, and then you go listen to his Spotify, he has like 10,000 listeners monthly, and it's all over the world and outside, especially Canada and France and England. And the thing is that the scene is awesome, but at the same time it lacks the funds it needs, of course. That's the same everywhere, but the thing that we notice as a young band, most of the time you have to go play almost for nothing or for nothing at all sometimes.
Right. But, I know it's so tough.
And the thing is, the difference between mainstream acts and the metal is like crazy, like miles away. Like if we go, we play the show for $50, and people are like, $50 each, $50 the whole band. But not bucks, euros, but you catch my
right. Crazy. So what's next for you guys then?
Well, now finishing finally releasing the album. I'm finishing the video that's coming out this Friday. But yeah, we're going to embark on a journey and try to promote this as much as we can. But since this album, like the most recent song from the album is like 2 years old, although it changed a lot with the introduction of the pianist. So it changed like really, really a lot in this last year. But the songs overall are old. I am in a different place already. So writing, I have written a lot of stuff since then that is in the same vein, but progressing. So as soon as we can, we'll start working on the next and the next and the next.
Always writing?
Yeah, writing is my thing. Is my thing. That's what I love most. Fixing. So
excellent. And if fans want to find you guys, how do they go about doing that?
All right. So you can find us on online on most social media. I think, yeah, we have most of them. At AOIDOS band, AOIDOS band, all together. We're that's our tag on most of them. And yeah, the same without the band in Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it.
Okay. Thank you, my
Everybody
friend. I
listen.
really do think what I've heard. So good luck.
Thank you so much. Forward to it.
Be well. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, this is Bjorn from Soulwork, and this is Brutally Delicious.
Hey there, heavy metal maniacs and kitchen crusaders. I'm Bruce Moore, the host of the Brutally Delicious podcast, where we whisk up a blend of metal and food to quench even the most discriminate tastes. Have you ever wondered what your favorite metal musician chows down on before they hit the stage to melt your face off? Well, look no further. Here at the Brutally Delicious podcast, we have cooking segments so brutal they'll make your oven want to headbang. From beefy, bodacious burgers to spicy, succulent salmon, to kickin' caliente cauliflower, and more. We mix metal and culinary creations, resulting in a feast for the senses.
But wait, there's more.
Hey, this is Michael Monroe. Brutally Delicious. Isn't that beautiful? See you down the road.
Each week, I meet with the mammoths of metal for interviews that are spicier than a Carolina Reaper. Get the latest on their upcoming shows, behind-the-scenes stories, and if we're lucky enough, maybe they'll share a secret family recipe or two with us. You'll also want to check out our weekly album and show reviews, where we dice, slice, and serve up our unique takes on the latest metal releases. So grab your leather apron, crank the volume to 11, and subscribe to the Brutally Delicious podcast on your favorite podcast platform. It's sure to be a hell of a time.
Oh, hey there. It's Tim from Protest the Hero. Now that you've seen my junk, I'm going to show you how to make a pizza. And you're watching Brutally Delicious.
What's up, everybody? Max Cavalera, Soulfly, and you listen to Brutally Delicious podcast. Stay metal, motherfuckers.
Every listener to Too Much Effing Perspective knows that my co-host Alan Keller is a music nerd, and right up there in his pantheon with the Beatles and Elvis Costello is The Clash. So Alan, it's one thing for you to be a nerd, but how did you rope in a cool guy, 311's Nick Hexum, into a full-on Clash geek fest on our show?
Well, first of all, Alex, it was your idea.
Oh, right.
Second, Nick actually jammed with The Clash's Joe Strummer in a supergroup that included Flea and Tom Morello.
Okay, well, there is that.
And finally, one member of The Clash cited This Is Spinal Tap, the reason our show even exists, as his favorite movie.
Which one?
Hey, if you want to find out, you got to listen to Too Much Effing Perspective. That's Too Much EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.